Hey guys, and welcome to week 8 of Dancing with the Stars AFTERBUZZ show. We're here live, and we've also got some great guests joining us via Skype. This was also the first judges, team up week. So we've got a lot to talk about. So let's get right to it, guys.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, and welcome to week 8. Today in studio we have the lovely Julz Tocker.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And then we have the lovely Matthew joining us.
Hello everyone, so happy to be here.
Oh, wow, we do have a lot going on, don't we? We have Mark Ballas on Skype right now.
Mark!
So we're going to get straight into it with you, my darling. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
That was quite the intro.
You liked
Wasn't it?
I like that.
You're familiar with that song, right?
So tell me, how was last night for you?
Last night was great, man. I really enjoyed it. I think everything went according to plan. You know, I thought the overall competition was awesome. The show was great. I just feel like the production value of the show just keeps getting better and better and better. So that's you know, a huge attribute to our producers and all those guys involved. So and then the routines were great. It was a fun night. I was really proud of Paige last night. I thought she really pulled it out the bag with her Viennese waltz. She really connected emotionally. Her movement was great, and she just looked beautiful out there. So when I watched it back, I was very happy with it.
How hard was that this week for Paige, Mark, getting her in the ballroom compared to the Latin stuff? Do you feel that she is better at one particular style than the other, or do you feel like she's kind of generally across all the board pretty even?
The great thing about Paige is that I just think she can kind of do it all, you know? Like, she really is versatile, and I think that's what you look for in this competition. Like, you want someone who can be good at the ballroom as well as the Latin, because, you know, the Latin's fun, it's rowdy, it's sexy, it's sassy, but then, you know, the ballroom is elegant and classic and it has its tender moments, and I felt like she really showed that she can have those moments too. You know, when she had the rumba and the switch up, even though the rumba is a Latin dance, you know, that was one of her comments from Len, was like, you know, I really want to see you lose yourself in the emotional side of it, not just the technical aspect of it. And I felt like she really took that critique to heart and went and worked on it, and we really worked on bringing out the character and the soul and like the emotional romance of the dance. And when I watched it back, you know, it's so hard when you're in it, you know, you're just kind of going and you're feeling it, but when you go home and you kind of watch it as a third person, it's a whole different thing. And I just felt like she was really locked in, and she became that character. So that was nice for me to see as her coach.
Mark, I have a question for you. So with the Viennese waltz, it's continually moving, correct?
Yes.
It's meant to be, but you broke that and added your own little twist to it,
didn't you, Mark?
But that actually made it more difficult for Paige, no? Because she had to go in and out of that movement, which can be difficult.
To be honest, when I was choreographing it, I really didn't actually think of that until, you know, Bruno said it. For me, it was more about just styling it correctly. You know, we were in, you know, we were playing these kind of ice statues, and the whole point of the piece was the blizzard at the beginning was kind of representing, everything was kind of metaphorical, was kind of representing trial and tribulation that all of us as humans go through. And sometimes when you face these kind of adversities, it can isolate you. It can make you feel like you're trapped or you're stuck or you're frozen. And, you know, the whole point of the two characters, you see them after they came through the blizzard, they were frozen and they came back to life. And it was kind of having one more go at the problem, trying to overcome that obstacle together as a team. That was kind of the metaphor behind the whole story. And I felt like it connected with the lyric and the tone of the song as well. But, you know, I just wanted to, instead of just doing you know, a typical Viennese waltz stylistically, I did want to also tell the story and have the characters have life. And I was thinking, like, if these were ice statues, how would they move? When would they stop? When would it be flowy? And I wanted to kind of go in and out of that frozen feel to kind of the more Viennese waltz, flowy, elongated and classical feel as well. And I felt like Paige captured that beautifully. And I guess, yeah, it is hard to do, to kind of hit and isolate, but still, you know, it was part of the choreography, and you know, I was glad that Bruno picked up on that, and I thought the fact that he noticed it, which meant that she was doing it well, because to hit something so staccato and then move into something more flowy is, you know, it's a challenge.
Definitely. So what did you think about the scores then? Did you think you were underscored?
I did feel like she was a little underscored, you know. I think she could have gotten, you know, a couple extra points, but you know, when you're in the moment and you're watching it, you know, you just write the number down, you know, and then sometimes people want to change them or not. You know,
we've been going through that, haven't we, the last couple of weeks with Bruno.
No, I'm glad he said that, you know, I'm writing it down myself. But, you know, we were happy with the scores. I think 2 9s and a 10 are excellent scores. And, you know, would I have liked her to get a full house? Of course. You know, I always want her to be, you know, getting great scores. And I think for her as an athlete, it feels good. Like, I've noticed that about athletes. Like, scores are very important to them, you know, because I think that it's part of, like, what the world they're used to, whether it's a football player, gymnast, you know, UFC fighter, whatever. Like, scores, they matter, you know what I mean? And they are important. Of course, the fans come first, and the voting comes first, and really what we do is all for the fans, because if we didn't have the fans, we wouldn't be doing this in the first place. So, you know, both Paige and I are super grateful for all the support we've had, and just really happy to be here. So we were just, you know, we were overjoyed with how the piece went, because we felt like we really did the best that we could, and it felt
great. Quick question, Mark, with Antonio and the traveling that Antonio had to do this week, you guys had your team dance, and you didn't have a full week to rehearse together. How hard was that, trying to get the, you know, everything together without being together?
Well, I mean, I think on paper it's definitely kind of nerve-wracking when, you know, one part of the team isn't going to be there, because we were traveling and everyone has schedules. You know, Paige is busy as well, and Antonio's busy, he's got a lot going on, and then also just the schedule of the show in general, like trying to put the show together is a full-time thing. So, you know, thanks to modern day technology, we were able to be sending videos and video chatting and cleaning up separately. Like, I could run his parts with Paige, Sharna could run Paige's parts with him, and then you know, when we got together.
When did you get that together? Did you just do that on?
We had a rehearsal at the beginning of the week, but the first rehearsal was kind of more a creative kind of, let's get a feel for the song. What are we wearing? Where are we at? What are we using? And then we had like another small rehearsal later in the week, but we really didn't get like into the nuts and bolts of cleaning it and making it presentable until, you know, the end of the weekend, which was kind of.
Well, it didn't look like that. It was definitely together. I thought it was the most unison any of the team dances were.
Yeah, it was amazing, man.
And how was it? How much input did Kerry-Ann actually have into the piece, or was it more the creative side?
I mean, that was the great thing, is that the creative was from Kerry-Ann. Like, she had this vision, she had all these ideas, and I love that she was hands-on with it, and I love the music selection, you know. So that was really, really good. And, you know, Kerry-Ann came to a few rehearsals with us. She came to all the rehearsals we had. She would be there at some point to come in, share her ideas, give us kind of inspiration, and I think that was really helpful for Paige and Antonio, you know.
Definitely.
And you know, as the rehearsals progressed, it was really awesome to get to work with her and see how she sees things, and then, you know, Sharna and I kind of handled the choreography aspect when it came to the paso doble and shaping and cleaning, and also like the floor plot of it, how we would get down from the dust, how we would get up to the water, you know, and Kerry-Ann had some transitional ideas with the choreography, which was really helpful too. So it was definitely a group effort, but I definitely feel like Kerry-Ann's vision, her creative, her song choice, and kind of her wardrobe and set ideas were really on point.
Now, Mark, it seems like Paige, out of all of the contestants, seems to have been going through the most amount of growth on the show. Can you tell us about her transformation from week 1 to now?
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because I feel the same. You know, I think for someone like Paige, she comes from a sport that is, you know, incredibly aggressive. It's very you know, kill or be killed. You know, you're out there on your own, no teammates, no partner, it's just you out there, and you have to literally fight for survival, like legit have to fight for survival. So I think coming into a sport now and a show which is all about camaraderie and teamwork, and showing your tender side, and then showing your fiery side, and then one week it's fast, the next week it's slow. It's a different set of techniques every week. That is a huge challenge for anyone, and I think you know, for Paige, you know, she doesn't come from show business. She's not toured the world performing in front of people. She's never really been on TV in this way. I think that's really interesting. You know what I mean? I find her, the fact that she can be so feminine, the fact that she can be so lovely, and
she's young.
She's soft and lovable.
She is.
Absolutely.
She's really growing
fascinating
into
to
herself,
watch
I
if you
think.
know what sport she comes from, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we're seeing such a transition with Paige. Like, she's really growing into a woman, and we're watching that every week with the progression in her dances and her emotional performances as well, Mark.
Last night she said I'm not a real girl, which I think is just completely not the case. I think she's a lovely young lady.
Yeah, she totally is, definitely. So
Thank you.
Mark, next
I
week.
agree.
Next week, what's happening? What you got going on?
Oh man, we got the trio week. We've got our solo dance. It's like, these dances are super important. This will be kind of, it's funny because the votes roll over, So, like our dance we did to the Tina Turner song, The Jive, is what got us into the semifinal, and then ultimately what we did last night is going to be what gets us into the final.
Wow.
And then these new dances is going to kind of set the tone for what's going to happen, like to get through to the Tuesday. You know what I mean?
So no pressure is what you're saying.
Yeah, walk in the park.
None.
Walk in the park. See you Tuesday. Good talking.
It's a lot, and I think it's a lot for everyone. Like, all the contestants are putting in work and doing really well, and I think it's just that point of the competition where you have to, every step has to be your best. So
For sure.
we're continuously just trying to think of cool, fun, creative things to entertain the fans, because we are in season 22. We have a very loyal fan base, and that loyal fan base, I feel like, has seen it all, and you want to keep them interested. So I'm constantly trying to come up with cool concepts and ideas, and I'm really excited about the 2 dances we have this week. I think they're going to be cool.
Well, you always do a great job of that, Mark, for sure, with your concepts and whatnot. So another question, who do you think is your biggest competition at this point?
I think it's everybody's really good that's left right now. It's quite a strong season of talent. I think everyone has their own kind of journey and their own kind of growth and their own kind
But
of.
who are you watching? Who are you like, I've got to keep an eye on
I watch
that one?
everybody. For me,
Eyes like a hawk.
I try not to single anybody out, because at any given moment,
You never
someone
know.
can peak, someone can have a great
Exactly.
night, someone can have an off night, someone
Someone can break the
overtake
leg.
somebody else. You never know. So I think to keep an eye on one person would be
Smart.
not the right move. So I think the most important, my eyes are on Paige. Like, my
course,
priority
yeah.
is Paige, making sure that she feels like $1 million every time she walks on the floor. She's comfortable, she's happy, and us together are united and strong as a team. That's kind of where my attention always stays.
And she's pleased with last night?
Yeah, absolutely. She was really happy that, we got the 10 and the 2 9s, and the fact that she got through such an emotional piece and executed from start to finish. And that was the thing I thought was great about her last night, is she had these beautiful movements, some really great shows of technique, her stretching, her lines, her frame, but also staying in the character and the romance and in the emotional side of it throughout from start to finish. She didn't break that once. So I think that was like one of the biggest challenges, and I felt like she overcame it last night.
For sure. And I loved that split that she did. It was just out of nowhere.
Right, and beautiful.
Bam! And then it was just like, pow, pow, and then back to the Viennese, It was like,
Viennese.
it was great. I loved it. No, it was awesome, Mark. Great job. Thank you for taking the time. We know that your schedule is crazy, so we really appreciate it. And I know all the AfterBuzz fans are going to be thrilled.
And Mark, I believe are you touring this summer?
We are, yeah. We're going out on tour in early June, which is going to be. We just actually posted the link for tickets and packages and meet and greets and all that stuff.
Awesome.
They're up on my Twitter and Instagram. But we're going to be heading out in early June.
Great,
Fun
guys. So
times.
everyone can check that out. Alexander Jean on tour. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you guys, and thanks to
So
everyone
good to
who's
have
watching.
you on.
Appreciate the love, the support, and the votes, and you guys keeping us in it. I do this for you guys, so I couldn't thank you all enough. Love
Thanks
you
so
guys.
much, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
All right,
Have a
brother.
good one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
How much fun.
Just love it when
yeah,
we get to
guys.
chat with Mark, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Bless
him.
Good to get the inside scoop on that one.
There you go, guys.
There you go.
A little Skype call.
So now that we've talked about Mark, let's start back at the beginning, right?
Oh, right.
Might as well.
Well, actually, I have something to say about
do you?
another ABC show.
Oh,
show
dear
is
God.
that?
What is that? Please do tell us.
Well, on The Bachelor, Ben told JoJo that he loved her,
Oh, they did?
but her fairy tale ending crashed straight to the ground when he said he loved someone else more
That's just rude.
and sent her away brokenhearted.
You're
It
joking.
was the most dramatic Bachelor finale ever. Well, been there, done that. ABC Monday, May 23rd, JoJo is back as the new Bachelorette.
Oh,
Yes.
God, help us.
Yeah.
The stunning fan favorite from Texas is leaving her heartbreak behind,
You go,
going
girl.
from Ben to 26 new men,
26.
all hoping to be the one to make her happily ever after finally come true.
Well,
Are the guys here for the right reasons? Will they make a connection? And will JoJo finally get the happy ending she's always wanted?
If she's
I
lucky.
hope so. Bless
The
her.
surprises start night one as the guys try to grab her attention right out of the limo to get that coveted first impression rose.
Oh, good on
gosh.
them.
I know.
They must
A
do
new
that.
epic journey of romance, man tears, and drama
Man
is
tears.
about to
Harden
begin.
up, bro.
The Bachelorette premieres at a
it's not-
special time Monday, May 23rd, 8 Central, only on ABC.
Don't
There
miss
you
it.
go. I'm definitely going to check that out.
You should.
You do that.
It was a good
I've got
season last
plans.
season, so I
Yeah.
have high hopes that it will be good this season as well.
There you go.
Way to go, JoJo.
Go, Jojo.
Get it, JoJo.
Go,
Get your
JoJo.
man. Right, back to our show now. So the opening number, I was a bit underwhelmed with this opening number with the pros. Jules and I were talking about this in the car because for me, I watched the pro routine.
It sounds so lovely when you say it in the car.
in the car.
In the car, we have lots of discussions in the car.
do.
We do. In the.
Oh gosh, that's another show. But I was just honestly underwhelmed. I wanted more. I looked to that opening number to see what these celebrities need to be doing. I watched that. I want to see the most intricate choreography. I want them to go for it, and I felt like it was just a bit of a warm up. I don't know. It's not usually like that every week for me, but this week I was just like,
So I keep hearing things about Mandy Moore.
yeah, and I love Mandy Moore. I love her choreography, but this week it just didn't gel for me at all.
Sometimes are they generic dances, or are they? How does it happen? How much time do they have to prepare?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, everyone's traveling as well. But then again, like today, I know they've all been in there rehearsing. So it's tough. Like back in the day, we used to have we would have full-on opening numbers. Like the whole cast is involved. Every single week we had opening numbers. But we had 2 shows a week back then too, so we had a lot more to do. But
That's one thing
it's
I
a
missed.
production. It's a production
nights.
thing as well. You know, I don't know how much. If one person has control, it's a group effort. And are they trying to make this more commercial styling now these days rather than just pure ballroom and Latin, which I feel I'm missing the pure ballroom Latin, smashing out some wicked routines.
Me too.
Full on, intense, in your face, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Where is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm missing it. I feel like I'm missing it.
I am
And
too.
those light sticks, Derek did that seasons ago. Come on, you've got all this production going on.
Well, and that's something that Mark mentioned when we had him on the line. He talked about how amazing it is that the production value and level
Right.
is so high. But remember the days when it was simple dancing on the dance floor? Like that was what Dancing with the Stars was kind of
Right.
Yeah.
all
Well,
about.
yeah.
I feel like they've lost a little bit of something with as the production value increases.
I would like to see the production value increase on those team dances, on all of that stuff. But when we come to the actual dances that are being scored
Right.
and judged, that's when I want to see it brought back. I want to see more technique. I want to
Yeah.
see more of
Less
just
glitz and
dance.
glamour and more
is it
dance.
fair? Is it fair?
100%.
Can you? I'd love to have this conversation via Twitter, maybe after. Is it fair that one couple gets a full-on Broadway production and then another couple get 2 lights? Like,
But
is
don't
it fair? I don't know.
the dancers, the professional dancers have
Have
say?
to- yeah, they do
Isn't
have
it a
a say.
discussion?
Say, but also not every week. Is it full production? Like for example, like some week, like this week, Mark had the full-on production, which was, I mean, it was just perfect and beautiful. I'm just saying as a discussion, but then Shana had everything stripped back and just lighting. But I mean, and I know that she had other options for this week, but that's what was put through. It's just interesting how I don't know if it would make a difference to the dancers, because the concept with Mark's is so wonderful. You couldn't change it because it wouldn't have made sense, right? And then Charlotte's, everything worked well. But I'm just saying, like, would that make a difference? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
If it was a bit more streamlined, I think so. Because then it's more of an even playing field.
Right.
Those Disney opening numbers, I want to see those every week.
Yeah, and you know
full on dancing, full on production, and the openings, and see what happens.
Yeah,
Give us some dancing. Get the pros moving their asses like the world champions that they are.
Exactly. These dancers, guys, are the cream of the crop that they have on this show.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I want to see
I don't want to see a 15-second bumper. I mean, they're such a pain in the butt anyway, preparing for those. I want to see a full-on 2-minute number.
I see the girls running around. Like, who was it? Had done a bumper,
backstage.
and then she was running back to sit in for the church scene. I think it was Hayley with her blonde wig, bless her, like, just made it before the routine started.
Right.
So, you know.
Anyway, we're not production, but some ideas there for you guys. Give us a call if you need some help. Should we get on with it?
Let's get on with it.
Let's do it.
So the first couple of the night were Niall and Peter, and they did a Paso Doble. Now, this was awesome, but yet it didn't quite hit the bar for me. This is why I get that this classic moment of having the silence, those 3/8, I just don't think it was executed quite as well as I would have liked. And I think he's super powerful. That's nothing that he's obviously a super powerful dancer, but it just looked like there was a bit of a lack of attention to detail this week, in my opinion.
Agreed.
What did you guys think?
What do you think? I agree with that.
It was my favorite dance of the season.
We're back.
That's why we have different opinions. How boring would it be if we all just said yes or 3 bags full, sir?
I love him. And I think something that I haven't mentioned before is that, or it was only touched upon briefly, I worked on Dancing with the Stars, the actual show, in seasons 5 and 6.
Oh, awesome.
So I know it was a long time ago. I am a fan of the show, so my opinion is only that of a fan. I don't have any knowledge of actual technique. It's just simple viewing pleasure for me.
But you worked on the show.
But I worked on the show.
So you know how it goes down.
Yeah, I know some ins and some outs of the show. But it being my favorite dance, it technically may not have been the best. As a viewer and as a fan, it was just my favorite to watch.
Just the whole package itself?
Just the actual dance.
Just from start to finish?
Start to finish, yep.
Just kept you engaged?
I smiled the whole time. I love him, which I've mentioned before. But what amazes me is how he managed to have his disability come alive with a group of other dancers who dance to music, not to silence. So I just thought it was beautiful. I
do think that is extremely moving. I just wish it had been like a hair cleaner, because when I watched that, I did think there was a timing issue. I thought it was out of sync, that part.
Okay.
So that, for me, if it hadn't have been, I would be right there with you, I think. But I'm just trying to be harsh because he is so good.
Right.
And he doesn't seem to want people to keep going on about the fact, all these other things that he has to contend with.
Right.
So I'm just trying to, willing him to just step it up a bit. And I'm sure he will, but that's just how I felt.
I like that he discussed trust on the show and how he wanted to trust them and they should trust him. And I feel like they didn't let each other down.
For sure. Definitely.
So it could have been a little cleaner. I just loved it.
Great work.
Yeah,
regardless.
I thought so.
I love the end. I love the ending came out of nowhere. I thought that was beautifully executed. I thought his posture could have. Here's the thing. We're week 8. We're going to the semi-final.
Right.
I need to see a difference now. I've seen the same thing for a couple of weeks, and other people like Antonio, I noticed a difference with his posture, his technique, and from Niall, I saw a lot of great production, a great movement, but I'm seeing this hunch over a little bit. I need him to stand up, pull the shoulders down, pull the spine up from hip to head, standing tall, and freaking demanding the space and presenting a little bit stronger to Peter, because she is such a dominant dancer and one of the strongest girls on the show. And she can overtake a lot of people very, very just by standing next to them, with her energy and presence. And I think this week I want to see him step it up a little more and really really see some more technical aspects put into the dancing, because he can do it. Because he picks up choreography by looking. I can just tell by him. And Peter's already told me. So he got no problem about learning things. But now I think maybe they need to get the choreo in quicker. I know last week was crazy for everybody. Concepts changing. Time was tight. Everything was nuts. It's nuts time right now for the show. So getting those technical aspects in there, it is tough, but I want to see a little bit of that. I know we've got to move on, but that's my thoughts.
Do you want to see him in the semifinals?
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Finals,
that's
for sure.
not a question. I
need to see it, but I need to see something coming out in the final that we haven't not seen
before, for sure.
So he had a 10 from Carrie Ann, a 9 from Len, and a 10 from Bruno. Total of 29 out of 30.
I mean, it's an amazing score.
Right.
Good score. I think should be all nines.
Yeah, I think so too. I wouldn't have been mad at that, but regardless, great job. Next, we had Shana and Antonio doing the Viennese Waltz. Now, this for me was seeing someone just accelerate. Now he is stepping it up, and I don't know if it's this sportsman mentality whereby they know when to turn on.
They know when.
They don't exert the energy until it's really necessary, and when they do, by gosh, do they? Because I was watching Antonio. He did not, as far as I could see, miss a step. He was so engaged in the transitions. Like, as soon as he was turning Shana, his arm was behind his back. It was placed. His footwork. I saw such a difference. I thought he is really growing, really connecting with Shana. I didn't expect this. I thought he would be out, and he's still here.
I didn't either. I thought that the second half of the dance was much better than the first. I thought that it took him a minute to get into it, and then once he got there, he killed it. I loved it.
He perseveres though. That's
Yes,
what I
he
love.
does. Right.
Regardless of what happens
He's a showman.
in a routine,
See
he
his
is gonna
smile
go
the whole
for it.
time. He had this like really genuine, like, it's a little cheeky too, because I know what he's like, but it was also a genuine, really like happy, pleased to be there sort of smile. And he was ready for every single move or connection or step that was coming up. It wasn't shy. I mean, yeah, of course, she was leading him through and supporting him, but he commanded the space.
Yeah,
and
he did.
He took control. You know, I mean, she whacked the back bends here and there and the splits when she needed. But you know,
she did.
As good Aussie girls do. But he just looked. You know, he looked calm.
He looked calm.
He looked in control. He looked like he knew what his job was, and by God did he do his job till he went home. And he didn't go home, but he left on a high note.
I think so
You know
too.
what I mean? It was clean, and the footwork, you know, just totally stepped it up. You know, and if you look at the posture-wise compared to him and some of the other male celebrities, he started to stand up. Yeah, okay, some shoulders rounded here and there, but he is muscly too, and he's got like traps,
Yeah,
and
he is.
he's ripped and quite.
How tall
quite
is
big.
he? He's a tall guy, yeah?
He's
Not
maybe
too
like
tall. 5'11".
5'11".
Oh, okay. All right.
A bit taller than Shana, probably shorter than me. I think definitely shorter than me. But you know, he's pretty ripped. So to get a guy who's like is ripped and like big shoulders and stuff bring that down is tough. But he did a great job. Thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, he did. Any other thoughts on that one, my darling? No.
Were you pleased with the scores? All nines?
9. I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was 10 worthy. I'm hoping that next week he comes out again
And
then he gets
delivers
that
them the 10.
Yeah.
I like to see it when it's a real like gradual, you know, upward battle.
Yes.
And he is winning it. So I loved it. I thought the scores were right on point on this one.
Yeah, for sure. Good
It's a
job.
Viennese waltz, you know, it's not easy.
And their partnership is growing, and this week I think even got stronger since last week.
He's
Definitely.
5'10",
really great
by
to
the
see.
way.
Oh,
Boom,
5'10".
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Trini Boy 27 said he's 5'10", so we'll take his
Cool.
word for
Thank
it.
you. Thanks, Trini boy. Right, moving on to Jodie and Keo. They did the jive. Unfortunately, they were eliminated last night on their best scores.
Mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling. I thought this performance was great.
Yeah.
I loved the church, take it to church. I loved the outfit. I felt like she actually looked really comfortable this week. Really in it, not worried, you know, thinking about what's coming up. just 100% committed. Her and Keo really danced, you know.
And they really connected in rehearsal too. He apologized for his misstep, which you could tell that he genuinely felt awful for, and she said that he has made her shine
Which was
this
a cramp,
season.
by the way. He had a cramp in his leg, and he went to...
You could barely see it. I mean, for crying out loud, Carrie Ann, get off the boat. Oh, I'm sick of you this season.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, it's like this tiniest little thing, and she's made this whole palaver about it. It's not a big deal. It's just, I just feel like they were after him this season.
I think so too.
I'm sick to death of it. Can we start supporting the pros a little bit? Because what they're going through, they're a therapist, they're a dance teacher, they're a best friend, they're a choreographer, they're a costume designer, they're production design. It's just like, I'm sorry, yeah, he's a buddy of mine and I live with him, but he is doing everyone's doing everything that they can.
And
Sorry,
also,
I had to say that.
But also, you know, moving up in the competition, this being the first time that he has got this far, there is a lot of pressure. So I did think that that was a little below the belt. I mean, at the end of the day, they have to call it how they see it. So I understand that. But I did feel for Keo this season because I think he did a really great job with Jodie, actually. I think that I can't picture her with any other partner other than Keo.
Yeah.
I think they
so
worked
too.
really,
I think they had
really
a
well
great
together.
connection together.
And I'm sad to see them go because I do think that she had even more to give.
She had a lot more to give if she continued for the next couple of weeks. And I said to Keo, you know, everyone is so tight right now. Maybe there's one that wasn't so tight. It was Slippity Doodah Day. But, you know, the other rest of the cast were really on the button. And like I said last time I was here, it is a tight competition this season.
Right.
So someone had to go. Unfortunately, it was them. The jive was full of content and jive and kicks and flicks and splits and what the whole thing with the whole package.
Tom even said that he had
Great.
goosebumps.
Yeah, it was just, she was shining like a star that she is, and it was just so beautiful to see. If you're gonna go out, you go out like that.
It's true.
For sure.
She seemed at peace with the decision for her to go.
Well, I think she started
Fuller House
today at 8 a.m.
Yep.
So it was kind of perfect timing for her, which I think it would have been very difficult moving on in the competition with that schedule.
And I'm excited to see her back for the finale. Yeah.
That'll
That's
be
only a week.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
love her.
exactly.
So they got a perfect score and out the door.
Yes.
Out the door.
Did he
and
just
it's
come
no
up with
more.
that?
I actually did, guys.
Yes, he did it, Julz. She did it, Julz. Perfect score. And
Excellent.
out the door, there is no
I
more.
like-
Like bingo.
And then we had Paige and Mark,
which we
talked about with a 28 out of 30.
Loved that.
And
I
then-
really enjoyed that.
yeah.
And then this next one, Val and Ginger.
Yes.
Start us off. What did you think?
Val and Ginger did the Argentine tango. Loved.
did.
Sexy.
Oh, yes. So sexy.
I could have watched it all night long.
Sure you could have. Sure you could have. This is a family show. Please keep it.
But that being said, weren't you surprised? Seeing as we've had the Janet, I was a bit worried that she wasn't going to be able to get into this character.
Right. Because sexy has been
It's
difficult.
been difficult.
And she did it.
She nailed
There's
it.
something
she looked
different
hot.
about the Argentine tango, though.
I think it says a class to it, even though it's still quite raunchy
Well,
and
it's
dirty.
sultry.
You know,
Yeah.
it's got some kind of elegance to it in a weird way.
Give us some more.
I'm trying. I don't know.
She's improving every single week, and that's what I like to see. And this week was like sharp as a steak knife. Like she was, I couldn't believe it. How on it she was. Every single move,
Every
the lift,
move.
the drop. Then she did this like quick split line, and the balance, her balance and her posture, and to have that sort of balance to be by yourself. And then she did this line. It's not easy if you're not a dancer, and I'm wondering if she's had a lot of experience before or not. I'm not sure.
No, I mean I can
But
really
she's-
see the transition week
Same
after
here.
week.
And that's what I love about the show is the journey of these celebs going through from nothing to the end and seeing that transition, because this week I saw a massive transition and I loved it and I want to see more. She looked beautiful, costuming,
That body,
lighting.
body.
She just
She's
had
lost
a baby.
and
Are
she's
you
lost a
kidding
bunch
me?
of weight. She looked
Right.
freaking crazy amazing.
She's like got a bra and knickers on with a lovely lace frill thing
No
over
problem.
the top. It's fine.
Banging.
I got this.
Right.
Okay.
I thought it was sexy and romantic, and I thought it was reminiscent of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I just loved it.
I had a bit of that feeling, yeah.
I really
Yep.
loved the fact that she matched Val step for step.
Yes.
She was up there with him. It,
She really
it looked
was.
like almost like a pro couple.
Carrie Ann said they were
Yeah.
one being.
They were
I
one
agreed with
being.
that.
Yep.
I really did. And I think that she really, really trusts Val. She looks like a great student.
Yes.
She just absorbs everything
like a
that
sponge.
she really does. And you can tell she doesn't mess around. She works hard. Her schedule's insane, but look at her. She doesn't use it as an excuse. She is consistently working.
And improving.
I'm just so shocked by her.
Legs, framing, like just everything, every take, every little detail was involved in that performance and executed like literally perfect. I thought it was a perfect number.
Perfect number,
And
perfect scores.
Val, they got their perfect scores. So they got 30 out of 30, which is amazing. That's the second week in a row.
Like 10s all around this week.
Hello, like I didn't expect that from Ginger. But did you hear Val saying that he had messed up a little on his footwork?
I'm not sure I did.
When he was talking to Erin after, and I didn't see it actually, but
Carrie Ann, you got something to say about that? Did you miss that, Carrie Ann? Did you? Oh, that's a shame.
But the fact that she carried on and that he didn't notice, I thought was great. She obviously held it, together on her own.
Right.
Great
I
stuff.
loved it. Excellent dance of the evening.
Amazing. One of my my favorite dance of the night.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Believe it
I
or
want to
not.
know what yours is, but I think maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
All right, the next couple we
I think we'll be
had
there.
Okay.
was Wanye and Lindsay doing
The jive.
Was this like a Western style jive?
Bless.
Can they stop with the Western?
I don't feel like jive and Western really works for me. It just doesn't seem that I would pair them together. I want to see a jive and it was still energetic.
Well, let's be honest. 22 seasons. I mean, how many themes have we had for jive?
I know.
We must be
but
struggling.
That's not the best one.
They could have gone. They could have gone back to basics with
I would have
this
much
one.
preferred that.
And it's so tough because he's so likable. I mean,
so
we've all
likable.
grown up with him.
Rhythmical too. He's rhythmical. Like watching the jive, he has natural rhythm through his through his body. You can see it.
So what's going
oozing
wrong,
out
Julz?
of
Like,
it.
what's happening? This is like, I feel that the last couple of weeks he's been having these mishaps.
Disconnecting? Is it disconnection?
What do you
Is
think?
it? I don't know. Is it nerves? This is one couple I haven't actually seen Linz or talked to her this season for the first time, but I don't know. Is he freaking out on the floor with the choreography in studio? It might be going okay, but then when he gets on the floor the last couple of weeks, has there not been enough prep time? I don't know.
He's been busy.
Something's
Is he
up.
busy? Is he working? I don't
they
know
were
what's going on.
scheduling stuff last week where he wanted to make sure that Dancing with the Stars took precedence over his other scheduling Boys to Men conflicts.
Maybe the week to pull out a scarf from your hip and have a little show wasn't the best week to pull out a scarf. And
that
then
was
you have a
the
slip,
really
and then the rest just
unfortunate
like fell
part.
apart after that. And he tried his hardest to jump back in, but
It was
to
a little
jump,
like this.
to jump back in to a
how I
jive once
felt.
you mess it up as a celeb is like
I
a
actually,
mission and a half.
I don't normally rewatch. I rewatched because I thought she was off.
No.
And I looked back and I was like, oh no.
And it was
slipped.
a really long time too. It wasn't.
Oh no, you're right.
Blink and you miss it. It was a whole section of choreography that was
Till the end.
totally out of sync.
Till the end.
And you could see he wasn't in it because
was
how
like-
can you be in it?
Tap dancing.
Yeah, it was just trying to catch up. It was like fish out of water. You know, just like, it was just frantic.
But to give him to give him something.
It was like fish out of water.
He tried his butt off to get back in there with her. Like
He did, bless
he
his
knew
heart.
the routine, but he was just that couple. Just stop, bro. Have a breath and catch the next 8. Like that's what you should have done. But
Yeah.
until you have that mistake, you don't know how to deal with it. So it's like maybe he had to go through that, and now we're hopefully gonna see like Jodie went through it too. Maybe he's gonna come back next week and show us something that we've never seen in our lives.
Hopefully.
Maybe
What's-
not a Western.
What's interesting is that all of the attention that we're putting on the bandana, Carrie Ann said it wasn't just the bandana, that it was the dance.
But that bandana part, I mean, that really took the biscuit, didn't it? Really.
But also I didn't.
It did. Come on.
Yes,
And I actually spoke to Wanye last night after the show when we were all having a drink, and I was like, "I love you. You have to come back. Don't let this get you down. And he was like, thank you so much. You know, it was just one of those rough weeks, but we're going to get through it. He was like, I'm going to come back strong. And I could just tell he had that fight in him. So,
but based on last night's performance, and I wouldn't want him to leave, but based on last night's performance, he probably should have gone home before Jody.
That's what I would have thought.
But it's not from last night's
That's
dance.
what Mark was explaining. Yeah, it's from.
Thank you.
And that's where, but I forget that too, and I've been on the show for God's sakes, and I forget that myself.
Yeah.
That it's from the week before, even every show around the world. It's confusing to the viewers, fans. Guys, you've got to make sure you're voting for the right performance at the right week. You know that it's which week people are going home. You know,
you can't wait and think, oh, next week, because they might
they're
not
going to be
get there
gone,
if you
packed
don't
up,
do
shipped
it.
up, and off. Like, out, no more. Swipe left.
She definitely didn't need to be the one to go last night, whether it was Wanye or...
Yeah, well, they
others.
got 8 from Carrie-Anne, an 8 from Len, and a 9 from Bruno, which
was generous.
That was very generous.
that was really helping out.
So they got a 25 out of 30.
Yes.
Which, you know.
Good for them. Lucky.
Exactly. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I look forward to seeing him come back next week. You're right there, Rain.
We have Ranger in there.
We have Ranger in the studio.
Eating his legs. Let's be hungry.
You can find him on Instagram.
At Ranger's Legs.
Ranger's Legs. I think we should get Ranger on Instagram.
About time. I'm going to take a picture and actually tweet it right now. So
Yeah, we
see what we're
should,
doing.
so you guys know what we're talking about and you don't think we're crazy.
So
Any crazier than we...
Any crazier than we actually are. So now we went to this team up challenge.
Which, based on the way you're saying it, I don't think you were a huge fan.
I really was disappointed with the execution of this. Firstly, I'll tell you why. I'm gonna, obviously, but I was just upset with the way the judges conducted themselves in terms of the scoring. This has to be fair. This has to be like you're judging the routines. If it's just a bit of fun, let's not have the scoring.
But they do that every year, don't they?
They do, but this was just embarrassing. I didn't think that the first two, especially Niall, Peter, Jodie and Kio's, was a 10. 2 10s? And then America has to be the ones to say, no, hold up, it's a 9.
Was it a coincidence that all 3 had the same score?
I don't think so.
You don't think it was a coincidence?
No.
I just thought it was weird that America voted 9s.
And then America voted,
for
and
everyone.
it was an even playing field.
That's what I mean.
Something smells fishy.
Well, that's not even what I'm saying. I just thought it was odd that
left the cheese
10,
out.
10, 9 from America, 10, 10, 9 from America. I don't know. It's just weird.
It was very
America,
weird.
how do you feel?
America gave all the same scores as well.
That was convenient.
Because I really didn't think those three routines were in the same scoring range.
Absolutely
at all.
not.
I So Love Today said it should have been called the 29 show because all 3 of them...
Those judge challenges were a joke, Jessica Moore. Yeah, it was
I
very...
agree. So let's talk about this first one then. It was Team Bruno.
So I'm just going to say it because this is I'm on the Niall train. I thought he looked like the pro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. When he was dancing with Jodie, I thought that he looked like the pro out of the 2 of them.
I think it's really hard when you put 2 celebrities to dance together.
Right.
That's when you start to see the real cracks, in my opinion, because you don't have a pro guiding them.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think that that's always the best idea, but I just think Bruno went a little too far with his idea. He wanted to push the boundaries. Really, Bruno going too far? No way. But he wanted to push the boundaries. I get it. You know, guy on guy dancing, girl on girl. But I just didn't think it was appropriate. I didn't think it was the right time. I don't think that that's what this show necessarily needed at this moment in time. And if it was going to be done that way, I would have liked to have seen it been taken more seriously.
It looked a little bit like a beginner's dance class.
Especially that lift.
Right.
I mean,
With
what
Keo
is
and
that?
Niall.
I mean,
Oh my God.
I
just couldn't. I was literally couldn't believe what I was watching in studio.
I couldn't
Very
believe it either.
surprised. Very surprised. at that.
I'm stunned. I'm actually taken back right now.
And I feel like in seasons past they've done it where they would say, Niall, a 10 for you, Jodie, a 9 for you. It wouldn't necessarily be even, but then they got tonight or last night it was a group score.
I don't know if they've done it that way before, but this whole scoring I just thought was a farce.
How do you really feel?
Completely out the window. Nothing seemed to be going on.
It was just one joke after another, really, in my
But
opinion.
even
I was
Bruno-
surprised Bruno didn't come out in a big outfit himself.
From the ceiling coming down like Cher. Like, I don't
flying down.
understand. The whole concept. It didn't hit. I think he was too worried about guy on guy and girl on girl, and not really focusing on
The full
on
production.
how the full production was going to look and feel. And what the hell were the troupe doing in the beginning of the number? No, did anyone else have the troupe involved in the numbers? I don't see anyone else, right? I don't believe they did. I just thought, hang on, it's a team up challenge, not a team up plus troupe up. And I just feel like, get rid of the troupe. Let's base it around the freaking celebrities. And I think the mixture of the song and production and choreography just did not come together very well. And it's really hard when you are being guided by a judge, because you probably want to say swipe left, but you can't because
They're judging you.
So it's real difficult to deal with that. But that number just unfortunately didn't hit. Technically, yeah, it was beautiful and nice, and the song is a classic song. But the choreo, I just didn't feel it landed. They didn't land. It didn't land.
It didn't work.
And that's none of the pros or celebrities' fault.
That one didn't land. I thought the next one crashed. I did not like Team Len's dance.
Why didn't you like Team Len's dance? Was it his outfit? Perhaps?
Was it the canoe?
The sock tan.
I mean, I don't need to see Len Goodman, the head judge, in what is it? Do you even call that skirt thing? You know,
like the grass
a
skirt, the
Hawaii
hula
grass.
skirt.
I don't need to see. I want to see him in his suit. I see him in a certain way. That just was weird for me, and it was all a bit. I know it's meant to be fun, but I didn't find it funny at all.
No.
I found it a bit like, really? Why is Len this professional man? And I know it's meant to be a joke.
Camp
but
and-
yeah, it was just too over the top.
But again, they didn't need Bruno sunbathing in the back nude.
Obviously
What?
not.
I didn't even-
You didn't see that package? Yeah, that happened. But this was in the dance, which to me was just a little uncalled for. Yeah, it's all been going down this
Oh,
week.
I
babes.
missed
Where
that.
have you been?
Unfortunately,
You'll have to go back and rewatch.
So it was a samba. They did that bit at the back and towards the end. with
And that
Len.
song,
What was the song?
I don't even know it. I don't know if I can sing it.
Give
You
us
don't
a
want to
song.
hear me.
But please
Give
don't.
us a song.
Please don't.
Okay,
I don't-
senora, take your body right.
Oh, yeah. Shake your body right.
They are scrambling in the booth right now.
Sorry, guys.
I promise they didn't give us alcohol before the show. We're just like
Are you
this.
sure? Even down to the song, all the songs in the world
Right.
were dancing to the samba from the 1930s. Oh, Len, I guess it makes sense.
Below the belt.
Wow.
Just joking. But yeah, not my favorite, but my favorite one.
Was the next one.
Yes, sir.
This was actually
Team Carrie Ann.
Yeah, a legit passo. Paige
This
Mark,
was
Antonio and Shana.
Very dramatic.
I loved
I
it.
loved it.
Costuming, concept, music, mamma mia,
Oh, yeah.
love it, loved it. I love that song. Everything worked out, and they weren't even in the studios together. Like we talked to Mark today. Like, I know that they weren't together. Oh, look who's gonna join us. Maybe not. And they nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
It was a great pairing of two strong athletes.
It
How-
was.
how
I think
can we
that
have-
really helped too, though, because that part of the two of them dancing together was fire. I love
Fire.
that. And watching Shana and Mark open out,
Right.
and that shot from behind them walking
Yeah.
into the guys doing that lift.
See, and with Team
That was
Carrie
great.
Ann, everyone was taking it seriously. Everyone was in it.
Yeah.
Everyone was competing. And then the other ones,
like
you
a
know,
joke.
I actually,
It's like
I
a
didn't
joke.
hate Team Bruno's. I did hate Team Len's, but I thought that the other two paled in comparison.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that
They
show, you
didn't
know,
take
Just
it
for Gags.
seriously.
Like, was that Just for Gags? And then this came on. It was like two complete extremes.
But then, I mean,
The scoring.
America should have given them a 10 then.
I was surprised that America didn't give them
It
a 10.
deserved a perfect score.
So, but how long did America have to get these votes in?
That's what I was wondering too.
America, how long did you
Like
call me
all
right
of
now?
two
and
Yeah,
tell me?
seconds.
and voters
How
are
long did
using
you have?
Facebook. I don't know. I have no idea.
So that was all a bit interesting. So I definitely think
And it would have
fell
only been
flat.
the East Coast who could have voted live because we get the rebroadcast here.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
So we couldn't vote. So East Coast gave them a 9. We would have given you a 10, Team Carrie Ann.
Definitely would have. I thought they did a great job.
And then they revealed that Antonio and Sharna
really killed it.
Right. Agreed. They revealed right after that final dance that Antonio and Sharna were safe.
Which then really set the cat amongst the pigeons, didn't it?
Yes.
Because then you're like, oh,
You're putting it out today, the cat amongst the pigeons. I love that one. It's like your
well,
pocket
it's the
rock.
I'm picking up
isn't
some
it?
good ones from you today.
Oh God, we're gonna have plenty new ones next week too.
Yes, we will. But I just really interesting, very interesting concept.
Antonio stepped up this week in more ways than one with his partnering with Paige, taking command, taking control, learning
Every
both routines
aspect.
in short amount of times. Like he had a crazy schedule. I know.
Team player.
He just really stepped it up. Paige looked stunning in both numbers as well.
And Mark said Antonio was like a pleasure to work with. He said he really gets along with him, really great guy. And you can see he has that great energy about him. So it seems as though he's really taking the competition
Who do you think's going to be in the final?
How many are there?
4.
Well, we're going to have a double elimination next week, which is quite scary. Yeah. Double elimination next week.
Who do you
So
think's
there's
going
3
home
going
next
to it.
week?
So next week, I think, given what we've said and seen from yesterday, I would say Wanya and Lindsay might be
I
heading
think so
home
too.
on that train next week. And then after them, I mean, it's a really, really difficult call. Like,
I have no idea.
wow, where do you go? Maybe Sharna and Antonio.
That's what I had. I
he's
think
doing so well. If he
he's
continues like
improving.
that,
Right.
he is.
He
He's
is improving,
just
which
at the
is
right
what the
time.
show is all about.
Ginger and Val, but I'm just saying that
Ginger's just-
because. But she isn't. I mean, guys, I actually really. This is
So
the
it's
first time I
very
really
important
don't
that
know.
America
Yeah,
votes.
it really is important to get those votes in, guys, because it's anyone's to win right now, I think.
This is one of the closest seasons I've ever seen. I think ever in the history of Dancing with the Stars.
Totally. I am excited for next week.
And nervous.
And
Very
nervous, yeah, because we're gonna
nervous.
get some phone calls, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
Very, very nervous, but nonetheless, I can't wait to catch all the scoop and bring it back here
I'm
next week
excited.
so that we can chat all about it. We were trying to get Keo, but it doesn't look like he's finished
All his interviews, guys. Sorry,
so we've not been
I've
able
been
to
texting
get
him the
an
whole time
answer,
trying to get him back in, but he's still doing
So
interviews. I think.
it looks like we're not going to be able to grab him this week, but we'll try and get him in for next week. So don't you worry. We're giving it one last try. You never know. He might suddenly appear on our screens. Wouldn't that just be
That
fantastic?
would be amazing. It would just be like the best.
The best present ever.
It would be. It would
Wouldn't
be
it, though?
just perfect.
While we're doing that, seen as we are going to be heading out soon,
Looks like
why
it.
don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media, my darling?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Matthew Evan. Find me, follow me, love me.
And Julz.
At Julz Julz Tocker over everything, and Julz Tocker on Facebook.
And I'm Diva Darv on Twitter and Instagram, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into our fun show today. We had a blast.
It was
We
a nice
hope
little recap.
You guys did too.
Wasn't it?
We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week. Do not miss it. Double eliminations and vote.
Vote,
Vote, vote,
America!
Vote.
No, America, vote! Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.